Hey there, I'm here and ready to help. What's on your mind today? Absolutely, I'd be happy to help. Just let me know any word you come across and I'll give you a straightforward definition. In card games, a slipper usually refers to a player who is hard to catch or defeat, kind of like someone who's elusive or tricky. It can also sometimes mean a card that slips out of play or isn't easily controlled. It can vary a bit depending on the specific game. Got it. In that case, a slipper typically refers to a type of comfortable indoor shoe, usually worn at home. It can also mean something that's easy to slip on or off. If you need any other definitions, just let me know. Perfect. Feel free to throw any other words my way whenever you need, and I'll keep them as clear and straightforward as possible. A vampire is a mythical creature, often depicted as a being that feeds on the blood of the living. In folklore and popular culture, vampires are often portrayed as immortal, nocturnal beings who have fangs and can transform into bats or mist. It's a pretty iconic figure in horror and fantasy genres. Exactly. Vampires are purely mythical and are part of folklore and fiction. They definitely had a mysterious and supernatural element to stories, but they're not real in the literal sense. Absolutely. Vampires are often portrayed as very elegant and charismatic, sometimes with a dark and mysterious aura. They're often depicted wearing old fashioned gothic clothing like capes and high collared coats. They usually live in dark, eerie places like castles or old mansioni. And of course, they're known for their fangs and their ability to transform into bats or mist. They definitely have that spooky yet intriguing vibe. Of course. So vampires are imaginary creatures that drink blood to stay alive. They're usually shown as very charming and a bit spooky. They often wear old fashioned clothes and live in dark, creepy places, and they can turn into bats or mist. They're definitely not real, but they're fun in stories. Yes, exactly. There are historical stories and old myths that linked the nobility or the rich to vampires, suggesting they exploited the poor. It was a kind of metaphor for how the wealthy took advantage of the common people. These ideas definitely influenced the vampire legends we know today. Is it that vampires were those wealthy people in the Middle Ages? Sounds good. A maple is a type of tree known for its beautiful leaves, especially in autumn when they turn bright red or yellow. It's also the tree that produces maple syrup. The wood is often used for furniture and flooring as well. It's actually not a fruit, but rather a tree. The maple tree does produce seeds called samaras, which are those little winged seeds that spin as they fall. But the tree itself isn't a fruit tree like an apple or an orange tree. Exactly, you got it. It's definitely a tree like an apple tree, but it doesn't produce edible fruits in the same way. Instead, it's known for its sap, which we turn into maple syrup, and its lovely leaves. That's right. Maple syrup is indeed very sweet, and Canada is famous for producing a lot of it. The maple trees in Canada are tapped to get that sap, which is then boiled down to make the delicious syrup. It's definitely a Canadian specialty. Sounds good. Whenever you're ready, just let me know the next word, and I'll be happy to explain it. Sure, the word horror refers to a feeling of intense fear or dread. It's often used to describe stories, movies, or experiences that are designed to scare or shock people. It can also refer to a genre of fiction that focuses on frightening and disturbing themes. Exactly, you got it. Horror is all about creating that eerie, frightening atmosphere, whether it's in books, movies, or even game. If you have any more words or anything else you're curious about, just let me know. Horror is basically that intense feeling of fear, dread, or shock. It's what you experience when something is scary or unsettling. It can be found in movies, books, and other media that aim to make you feel frightened or uneasy. Exactly, you've got it. Horror is all about provoking that scared or uneasy feeling. It's meant to get your heart racing and keep you on edge. If you have any other words or questions, just let me know. Yeah, exactly. Horror stories or movies tap into that feeling of fear that we often find a bit thrilling, even though we don't want to actually experience fear in real life. It's kind of like a safe way to get that adrenaline rush. And that's why people enjoy horror, because it's both scary and exciting at the same time. Absolutely. That's a great way to look at it. Horror stories and movies tap into those deep fears and uncertainties, even if the chances are very small. We watch them partly because they let us explore those what if scenarios safely. It's like practicing how we might react if something scary or unexpected happened. It's all about that mix of curiosity and a little bit of thrill. Exactly, you're spot on. A lot of horror stories are completely fictional and rely on supernatural elements or impossible scenarios. They're meant to entertain and give us that thrill rather than teach us something real. And that's what makes them fun to watch or read because we can enjoy the scare without any real danger. Absolutely, that makes a lot of sense. Even though fiction and horror stories aren't about real knowledge, they definitely engage our imagination and emotions. They give us excitement, adventure, and a safe space to explore things that we would normally encounter. It's also a way for us to experience different perspectives and emotions, and it kind of helps keep our minds active and entertained. It's a wonderful way to feed our curiosity and our need for a little thrill. Sure, the word is pronounced as sequoia. A sequoia is a type of very large tree, mainly found on the west coast of the United States. They're known for being some of the tallest and oldest trees in the world. There are two main types, the coast redwoods and the giant sequoias. They're pretty amazing and are often admired for their incredible size and age. Exactly, you got it. Sequoias are indeed some of the largest and tallest trees on Earth, and they can live for thousands of years. They're truly remarkable and definitely stand out in nature. Yes, absolutely. Sequoias are among the longest living organisms on Earth. Some of them can live for over 3,000 years, making them truly remarkable in terms of longevity. They're definitely some of the oldest living beings we know. Of course, it's pronounced as sequoia. Just break it down into three parts: sea, koi, and That's a great question. Sequoias have a really interesting life cycle. They can live for thousands of years because they have very resilient wood and bark that can resist pests and fire. They also reproduce by producing cones that contain seeds. When conditions are right, like after a fire, the seeds can germinate and grow into new trees. It can take a few decades for a sequoia to start producing cones, but once they do, they can keep regenerating for a very long time. It's a fascinating balance of longevity and reproduction. The word urge means a strong desire or a powerful impulse to do something. It's that feeling that pushes you to act or to want something strongly. It can be related to anything from a simple craving to a more profound motivation. Ah, got it. Uggs is actually a brand name for a type of sheepskin boot. They're known for being very warm and cozy, often worn in cold weather. The name Ugg is sometimes used more generally to refer to these kinds of boots, but it originally started as a brand. Exactly, you've got it. It's just a name that's become pretty well known for that type of footwear, and it's definitely become a part of popular culture over time. If you have any other words or questions, just let me know. Footwear refers to any type of clothing that you wear on your feet, like shoes, boots, sandals, and sneakers. It's basically anything that protects your feet and provides comfort and support while you walk or run. Of course, there are lots of different kinds of footwear. For example, you have sneakers, which are comfy and great for sports and casual wear, boots, which can be sturdy and protective, perfect for colder weather or rugged terrain, sandals, which are open and breathable, great for warm weather, loafers and dress shoes, which are more formal and often worn with business or dressy outfits. And there are many more types, each designed for different purposes and styles. Absolutely. The word index can have a few different meanings. Generally, it refers to an alphabetical list of topics, names, or terms found at the end of a book, which helps you find information quickly. It can also mean a numerical measure or a pointer used in various fields, like in finance, where an index tracks the performance of a group of stocks. It can even refer to a sign or indicator of something, so it's a pretty versatile word. Sure, Columbus usually refers to Christopher Columbus, the Italian explorer who's famous for his voyages across the Atlantic Ocean. In the late 15th century, he's often credited with opening up the Americas to European exploration. Sometimes the name Columbus can also refer to the city of Columbus, which is named after him. If you meant something else, just let me know. Exactly, yes. Christopher Columbus is often associated with the European discovery of the Americas, even though there were already indigenous peoples living there. His voyages in 1492 are pretty well known in history. Yes, that's right. His voyages were significant because they opened the door for European exploration and colonization of the Americas. While he wasn't the first to reach the continents, and indigenous peoples have been there for thousands of years, his journeys did mark the beginning of widespread European awareness and interaction with the Americas. Sure, Christopher Columbus made his famous voyage in the year 1492. That's when he first crossed the Atlantic and reached what is now known as the Caribbean, marking the beginning of European exploration of the Americas. A loafer is a type of shoe that's slip on and typically low cut, meaning it doesn't have laces. They're usually quite comfortable and can be worn in both casual and more formal settings. Loafers often have a simple, elegant design and are popular for both men and women.